is your moment. This is your time. Embrace every milestone. No looking behind. What's your vantage point?
Welcome to Vantage Point, and we are the ladies of Vantage Point. In our last show, we talked about race and ethnicity, and I really wanted to go a little deeper in this show in reference to light skin versus dark skin. In the environment that I was raised in, we were taught that lighter is better. The texture of your hair, the way if you were a certain shade of color, you were considered upper class. What are some of your views on that?
I think we need a working definition of what light skin is. Because I think light skin is relative. You know, you might be considered light skin in your house,
right,
and I might be considered light skin in my house. But so how do we even define what light skin is?
I think I can say I hate. I don't like, no, I hate light skin jokes. I agree. I don't like them. They're uncomfortable. And when I hear them, I get it like I grip up. It's never funny to me. The whole light skin and dark skin controversy or tension is, you know, there's this inferiority with being lighter, which comes from being white, being mixed with white blood. And so all my life, I've heard the light skin jokes. You know, you don't know, oh, you light skin, you don't have those issues. You got the good hair, you whatever.
Yeah. Becky with the good hair.
Becky with the good hair. Even, you know, the light skinned girl with the nice car, it was the light skinned girl in this. Like, you are defining me as a light skinned girl.
Yeah.
But you had no idea that light-skinned girl was hurting, just beat up. You didn't know what that light-skinned girl, or I'm speaking of myself, really just had a tough time, you know, whether it was family hardships or just trying to find myself from, I mean, when I tell you I got a story, I got a story. But since forever, I've always heard those jokes. And even now, grown women who should know better, even men, make the light-skinned jokes, and I don't like them.
But how do you know you're light skinned? Because in some environments, you're not the light skinned one in the room. So I think it's your own personal definition, and like right now, somebody is looking at the four of us saying, "Who's the light skinned one? You know, who's the dark skinned one?" And that's an issue.
But it's a little bit like beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
That's good.
That's good.
And I remember growing up, my dad, and I blessed him for this. My dad loved black women. He did. He would, like, my mother was African American, and she was about my complexion. And we never had that thing in my house, per se, about light is better. And it was really funny because I remember we used to always get calendars, and as you flip calendars, and be like, she's beautiful. Not in a sexual way, but she's beautiful, and she could be jet black. And so it really is what you bring to the party. It's what you think of.
But were you the lighted? Like, what was the color skin dynamic in your...
I am probably, the three of us were probably about the same shade, and my sister, who's the oldest, was light. She was about your complexion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All same parents?
Same parents.
Did she have to go through you adopted?
You know what, I'll tell you this, when I had my children, they got lighter and lighter and lighter, like we were running out of milk.
And your husband was like, the way my Maury Povich is set up.
And they actually told me in the hospital, okay, who did daddy? Who did daddy? Because they're making jokes, because my last one came out very, very light. And so, you know, it's just, I don't know, luck of the draw or the spirit led, but that's it.
Not even, but wait, hold on, the luck of the draw. Because are you lucky if you draw lighter skin?
I was going to touch on that,
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't even hear myself say that.
I'm here for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
here for you. But do you see how that came out in our last show when we talked about sister? Well, who do you define as your sister? And we all were stumped because we're like, that's great. And I realized we all do it. We all do it.
You know what? Now that you say that, at my job, my previous employment, there were some Caucasian ladies that I call my little sister. And people will automatically say, that's not your little, yeah, that's my little sister. Because of what I grew up in, being around so many Caucasian girls that were my sisters. So to me, sister is not a color. Sister to me is a classification of friendship.
That's good.
Because if you're my sister, I put you at a different level of friendship.
Right.
So it's not synonymous with a color to me. It's synonymous with friendship.
My sister, my little sister,
Real
we
one.
share DNA,
By blood.
right? She's more brown. She's beautiful. All my sisters are beautiful. The community that we grew up in was very diverse. We went to the same high school. She was about 10 years younger than me. I still tell her everything she knows, but she did not realize that she was so melanated until she dated a white man when she went to college. And she realized that this man was not exposing her to his family. And it was the first time in her young adult life that she discovered, oh, we got a race issue here. This is a melanated issue. She never knew that. Wow. Now, we're 10 years apart. I grew up in New York City. She didn't. So, you know, even our formative years was a little different. Yeah. But for the most part, we grew up, you know, we went to a diverse high school. And that was her first experience. Whoa, this is real.
But you know what?
2012 or something.
Wow. There are some times that you remember you're black.
Yeah.
Like you can get so comfortable in your environment that when you go out to places and you're like, oh snap, I forgot I was black. Yeah, that's what you see first. I forgot. Yeah. It's okay. Let me readjust.
Corporate America.
Exactly. Let me readjust. Yeah. And what's so interesting I find about light skin, I heard this professor say this, that we celebrate light skin overall when, in my opinion, we're celebrating the fact that somebody in your bloodline was raped. Exactly. Somebody in your bloodline was taken advantage of.
That's correct.
Yes.
And now we're celebrating that. And of course, you know, we know it goes back to the field and the house. You know, the darker skin works in the field, the lighter skin. I ain't gonna lie. You say what you want. I'll be, no, I'm light. Put me inside. Please don't take me out there, Massa. I didn't need it. Please don't put me out there. Please don't put me out there.
Are you sure, Miss Rebellious?
I know, I'm light. No, let me tell you, whatever. Don't judge these slaves. You don't know what they had to do. It's hot out there. Yeah. It's hot. They don't want to go out there. So they put that mentality, you know, that if you're in the house, you're better than the people that are out working in the fields. And when you're in the house, then you're taken advantage of. You mix all that together. That's what it's light skin. So to me, it's a celebration of the fact that something was taken from somebody that didn't have any choice.
Right. But you know, I want to go back to something that you said, Laura, in reference to there are times based on your environment you forget. Oh, you remember?
Right.
Oh wait, I'm black. I'm in corporate America.
Yeah, girl.
And there are times I do work from home, and when I'm in meetings, my kids are home sometimes, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I switch up. Even my posture changes.
Yes.
And I'm like, and they'll say, "Mom, you talk white." And I say, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I talk proper? And why do we define that as a color or a race per se? Why can't you say you're well spoken?
Yes. Sure. Exactly.
I'm switching. Now, if I'm with my girls, I'm more like, yeah, girl, listen. But again, you conform to your environment.
Sure.
And I'm trying to explain to them, even with the whole thought process of ghetto. They were like, oh, she ratchet, she ghetto. Right. I said, do you realize that that's not necessarily a race per se? Do you understand where it came from?
School them. Where it come from, Sage?
The Jewish community.
Yes.
But you'll be surprised when you think of ghetto. What do you think of instantly?
Absolutely.
Black poor.
Poor.
The hood child.
The hood.
The projects.
The projects.
Yes.
And a bunch of Puerto Ricans.
We were talking about this the other day. The projects. I used to want to live in the projects. I didn't live in the projects, and I used to think, man, the projects are so cool.
And I just want the flicker in the head. But
I do not want to live in the projects.
I understood, and I'm like, I don't get out of this project. Go with, in her neighborhood. But to your point, I think there's this uniform that we want to subscribe to in the corporate environment, because I can relate to that. I remember going into being a young professional. I was a professional very, very young, 19, 20 years old, going into a professional role at a place I just left, the high school that I just graduated from. And I remember saying, I can't wear certain colors, certain things, because I have to go in there and prove myself that I can do the job.
Very good. Absolutely.
As I got older, I didn't have to be so strict, but it just stuck with me that I have to go in there and make sure that they hear what I have to say.
Exactly.
And that's what I have to say first, as opposed to profiling me and judging me. It's real.
Yeah, we grew up like that because I remember growing up, my mother used to always make sure we were saying the right words, and you just felt like you were always being looked at. Like you were the example of what the African American race is to a lot of white people who don't know. So since we were in so many situations where we were the only African Americans, it was like, okay, we're going to study you. Oh, she can speak well. We're going to study you. Oh, she is intelligent. And the problem is you grow up living that. So you never let down. You never let your guard down because that's just you. I remember, like most people, if you have to go to the bathroom, not to be crude, but you're either going to poop or you're going to pee. My mother would never let us say the word pee. It's urinate. And so I grew up at 2, 3, 4 saying, oh, yes, she needs to urinate. And people would look at me.
Exactly.
People would look at me like, "Are you serious?" Exactly. But in the world where I lost the battle around 14. When I got around 14, they were like, and you could tell, because this is the other thing we do, around my mom, but when I'm out, because I'm sure they weren't staying there, you know. But we just had such a high level to stay on, because everyone was viewing us, these are the black people.
And you feel like you're speaking for the whole community when you open up your mouth.
Exactly.
They ask questions, you know. When I was in high school, they would always ask me about hair. So, like, if one of the black girls came into school with longer hair than they had the day before, they would be like, "Lori, like, so how did her hair grow overnight?" Yeah. And I was like the black girl spokesman. I'm like, "Child, that is a weave." Like, oh my God. Now they wearing weave.
And did you get this?
How did you
get this? Can I touch it?
Oh, yes.
Can I touch it? It's like, I am not a pet.
Oh, wait a minute.
I am not your
Let me
pet.
hug you.
Oh, my.
That is get your hands on my head.
Thing. I had a man do that to me. Women, you expect, you know, they're trying to figure out my hair.
No, I don't appreciate that with women
actually,
either.
I said, "Did you just try to see if I have a weave in my head? Don't you ever put your hands in my husband is the only man that puts his hands in my hair sometime, because you know how we get down.
I'm about to say,
when our hair
is done, do not touch the hair.
You know how we got the hair done.
Okay, did you guys see that show, Napoli Ever After?
Yes.
That was so great. And on that subject, she would not let that guy touch her hair. It's like, whatever, but not right now.
At all. And she would wake up early to get ready
to put on makeup, to position herself,
to press
like
her
this.
Hair. Because remember, her mom came over and pressed her hair. And then jumped back in bed.
In that movie, I don't know if you remember the scene when she jumped in the pool, and she saw all of the children in the pool, all the white children in the pool playing, didn't give a care about their hair, and you see the torment going on in her mind. The way they illustrated that was really, it was very well done. And the mama was like, "You better not go." I don't remember what she said, but she said, "You better not get to that edge." And finally, the child just came out, and she took off.
She jumped in.
Wow. And when she came out, her hair was kinky, and her mother was livid.
And the little boy was like, "What's wrong with your hair?"
Yes.
Because her hair puffed out like that under the water. Yes. And he didn't know. His wife was like, "What's wrong with your hair?" And then everybody started laughing at her.
See, but you know what? See that though, and I'm guilty of this because I believe, I'm not going to say I believe, well, yeah, I guess I do. I love perm color, as you can see clearly. But I'm going to touch on that working in corporate America. Sometimes I cringe when I see, let's say, dreadlocks in leadership, because I know the perception. I know they're thinking, oh, it's frowned upon. I remember there's not much people of color in senior leadership roles. Unfortunately, it's the truth. It is what it is, even though we're big on diversity and inclusion. But let's be real for a second. But when they see females with braids, well, now males, guys are wearing braids now, a certain type of kinky hair is looked upon like, And even though that's wrong, but that's real. When I go to the hairstylist, I'll say, I love color. I could be blonde all day long. And I'll say, tone that down, because that's not a good look for me.
But you said you see people in leadership positions with dreads. That means they did make it.
That's what I think. When I say
but let me tell you something, though. Even within that, trust me when I say this, it's a struggle. It is a struggle. We've talked, and it's like there are times you feel like you have to work 20 times harder than your peer to continue to, even you could be the smartest one in the room.
Absolutely.
They don't see, and not all, because I was blessed. I'm where I am because I was blessed with favor, and I had a great boss that saw my potential, my talent, and wanted to expand that. However, I hear the conversations, and I see to your point, some people are comfortable. They'll ask me, "What is that in her hair?" Oh, it's called braids. How did they get that in there? And it's a legit question, but I don't think they realize sometimes how it comes across.
See, I want to say, what's that on your face? What's that in your mouth? Like, I mean, I'm just.
But I'm glad you don't.
Right, you don't.
Holy Spirit's like, shut and be quiet. But it goes back to the certain colors that I would wear, and the uniform,
Yeah.
because I had to prove myself. I'm not in that season anymore. I know what I'm bringing to the table,
Right.
And I can thrive off that, and that could be the case as well with dreads. I think dreads are beautiful.
If they are done
I'm about
well.
to say, if they're
That's
groomed.
trying to prove an
If they're
African point.
groomed.
But you need to twist the root. You need to twist the root a little.
Pick up in.
Okay.
So I think okay. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Know where you want to go. Understand the rules of the game.
Trust
That
It ain't right, but we have a whole different set of rules. And there's certain colors we can't rock with, certain hairstyles. I know some wonderful, incredible leaders in places of leadership with dreads, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I can think of one right now that I work with today, and she's not only in leadership, but she's changing the entire state with her leadership,
And
impacting people.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, changing the game. You do have to know the game. You have to know what the rules of the game are, but then you got to get in there and change them.
Yes.
And my daughter, I remember she was at school, and you know how you have a semester of phys ed, and you have a semester of swimming. There was a pool at her school, and a semester of something else. And at the last minute, there was some kind of change, and the gym teacher came in and said, okay, we're not going to do soccer for this semester. We're going to do swimming instead. So starting tomorrow, we're going to sort of all the black girls were like, hold up. We don't switch that quick.
No.
You need to get us 2 weeks notice. We need to get our hair braided. We need to get our money together.
Yeah.
And what I liked about that is that exactly what they did. My daughter came home and they said to the coach, to the gym teacher, no, it can't work that way. And so you have to speak up. Even if you're a minority, then sometimes you have to make room for yourself. And this is my true self.
And then there's the expense. You know, my mama said, I got to keep but you know, I literally just had this reaction when you said all the black girls said this, right? I am Puerto Rican. I am New Yorican. I know y'all be like, there she go. I am. There is a subtle difference, right? And I would have the same response. Now, people would look at me and say, oh, that's good. You know, that's a good grade of hair. But it takes me time. And it's not, you know, you see, you know, after I put in a good 45 minutes into it or an hour, you don't see what it's in its natural state. So it could be a chore for me too. So don't make the assumption that this is easy for me.
Yeah.
But why do you straighten your hair? I love your curl pattern, but
So
why do you straighten it?
I switch it up. I like to switch it up. I like my natural wave, my curl in the summer. My husband likes it all the time. I just switch it up. Now, I will say this. If I know, I'm just being real, if I'm going into the corporate environment, my role, I have to interface with people at certain levels, and I prefer to go in with straight hair so they're not distracted. It's no different from me wearing bright nail polish, right? Because you're looking at mine, even when I speak, I don't want to wear bright nail polish because you're looking at that.
Yes.
I'm trying to get you to focus on what's coming out of my mouth and how you partnering with us is going to change the lives of hurting people.
Right.
So what do you guys think of this new natural hair movement?
Girl,
I love it.
I'm on that creamy crack.
I love it.
Same here. I love that creamy crack myself. I love them all.
But I love the natural hair
I
too.
do
We were at a youth summit, and I was watching the young girls do
Yes.
their hair in the mirror, and I was thinking, when I was in high school, you would have never gone to school with your hair natural, never ever. And there were 3 of them in one setting with their hair all natural. So we had open room for a dialogue.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was in high school, you would have, why, Miss Lori? Shoot, whatever. And she was done.
Yeah.
But I'm not on the creamy crack because I, you know, so much want to be straight and fit the stereotype. It's just easier to manage for me. My hair is so thick and so big that I need it just to be able to maintain it. So I think to make it a us versus them type of thing, like school days, talking about good and bad hair. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You got
I
the
love
jigaboos and the wannabes and the
wannabes,
jigaboos. Instead of making it a controversy, no, you good with your natural. I'm gonna represent back in this kinky back right here that don't always stay firm. This is my natural section, right up in here. So lift these braids, or you gonna see something.
I love natural.
I do.
I really do, and I
You
love
but you wear
seeing.
it well though.
I've worn everything from natural to weave to my hair was like half an inch all on my head. So I've done it all, but it's more work for me, going back to the convenience factor, it's more work for me to do something with my hair every day. So that's why I like weaves and sew-ins. But I love seeing natural hair. And something else I love, natural when it has a little bit of gray in it.
Yes.
That's the other thing. When people start coloring, you know, we're always, but when you see that gray, it's just like, it's something regal about it and wise and mature. And I know maybe you're giving up the sexy playful a little bit, but it's gorgeous.
But there's some all white, like white, that I think is sexy, especially short hair. I love short hair. Husband, can I cut it? He won't let me. Like I said, when I get to 40, I want to go pixie. He's shutting that down. But, well, we still got some time to get there. Right. But I love short hair. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. But I, too, wear weaves, have worn weaves and wigs. And people are like, well, why are you wearing that? You got that? Because I like it. It's fun for me.
And it's mine.
Fun. And I get to do what I want. I bought it with my money. It's mine. I own it.
I think as long as, so that's an interesting point, too. How much say do you think your husband should have in your hair?
A lot. I want to look good to him. I do.
Okay,
all the men on this earth, he's the one that matters.
I have never sat and discussed my hair with my husband. Never. What he sees, what he gets. Thankfully, he's pleased. I think he's pleased. I hope he's pleased.
How you know?
How you know? I hope you're pleased. But the thing is, and this is just my vantage point. It's my hair. I want to be happy.
As in, it's your hair, it's your business.
It's my business. So, I mean, as long as I'm not, in my opinion, crazy with it, what's the problem? He met me with, he met me with long hair. Like your husband, he prefers long hair. And one day I came home and it was short. He was like, oh, what is he going to say?
So you didn't tell him?
No, I just came home. But I've always been that.
That one went well for me.
Yeah, but again, it's whatever works in your household. Yeah. But that's just me. I'm very independent that way. Yeah. I'm more like, this is what I want to do. This is my career. The only time I really sit and talk with my husband is in reference to our children and money.
So if he said, Serge, I want you to grow your hair,
it would have to be a serious discussion. Because I love short hair. Like, to me, it's easy, it's sexy, I feel confident, I feel good. It's me.
Would you compromise and at least get like a wig or a weave?
I would get a weave. I probably would do something like Alexa, something midway. If it was something that he really, truly stressed, yes, because I want to please my man. Right. Absolutely. But, yeah.
So I heard an elder say this. I'll never in my life will ever forget this. We were at a bridal shower and she was giving advice. She was sowing good seed, good wisdom into this bride-to-be. And she said, your man is going to be out in those streets all day working, interfacing with some of the most beautiful women in the earth. Mm-hmm. When he comes home, he needs to see the best looking woman that he's seen all day. Mm-hmm. So if that means putting on some clothes real quick, some perfume, some lipstick, and the hair the way he likes it, then you need to do that. I was like, oh, yeah. I can't put but now I know that's difficult. I get it, but that's a good point.
I agree with her.
But it just made me aware. Now every day you don't want to look,
I agree that you want your husband to be pleased, and I agree that you want to be uppermost in his mind as opposed to anyone else. But if you take that too far, you're back with a Nappily Ever After chick who is trying to straighten her hair and do all this excellent, really superficial stuff. Like you were saying, it depends on you and your husband. Yeah. Now, I am super blessed above all women because my husband really doesn't care. He doesn't care about makeup. He doesn't care about hair. I came into the house the other day with this and he didn't even see it. He did not even see it. And I remember sometimes people say, oh, go home, show your husband, he's going to love that. And I was like, I'll go home.
But he won't notice.
He loved it before I left.
But that's a good thing because I'm free to do whatever. But if he ever said, Alexa, I would really like to see you. Let your gray grow out or let this or let that, I would give it a shot because his opinion is important. And even biblically, when it says my body is his body and his body is mine, it's like, okay, you have some say-so. I really believe I want to make him happy.
Well, I took that.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I took that scripture totally off. I never looked at it as dealing with my hair and my clothes. I'm just keeping it real.
What did you think I was dealing with?
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah. And our second making sure we talked about sex. I was thinking that aspect.
I get it.
I wasn't thinking.
You talking about your body? That's
Yeah,
my body.
yeah. We
You
talking
can have
about
my
the
hair
body.
too, just my
My
body.
hair's a whole
That's in
different.
that first Salvations 1 and 2. That's all 3 right there. But
I'm doing shit.
right. I was gonna say, when I turned 40, I did what you said. I cut all of my hair off, shaved my hair, and for about a week, he was like, you gotta grow your hair back. And my sons were like, yes, mommy, you have to grow your hair back. Now, I said it was in our prenup, because we had no money, but I did have hair coming into the marriage. So in our prenup, I had made arrangements. When I turned 40, I'm cutting all my hair off. That was the agreement, and I did it. And he said, you look like a boy. So I am in the process.
You gonna be real?
I am in the process of growing it back just for him. And even at night, like I feel some type of way about sleeping with a scarf on. But either you gotta make a choice.
I do.
Either you want it to be nice during the day. You want it to be nice during the day. Mama gonna have to put this on. But one day I put this bonnet on, child. I woke up and looked in the mirror. I said, babe, I apologize. I apologize for looking at
you did.
This body right here, this is horrible. As my son says, this is horrible.
But you know what? If it's a pretty bonnet, like somebody's got to create something that's. I don't know if you can get a sexy bonnet, but if you have to wear the scarf, make it a pretty one. It should smell good.
Yes,
that's important. They need to be clean.
Your
right?
husband never say, you need to wash your scarf. My baby was like, hey babe.
No.
You supposed to wash
No.
wash that scarf.
No, he didn't.
So we can go on all day talking about hair and race and everything. But this has been a good show, right? We're gonna make some changes. Serge, you've come to some reality. Lou, you can thank us later for bringing your wife back to reality, making sure everything is good. We've learned a lot. We thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you join us on all of our social media outlets. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe at VantagePoint Ladies, and you can follow us on Facebook at the Ladies of Vantage Point. You heard our Vantage Point. What's yours?
What's your vantage